January has been super busy for some reason, and I don't know how I've managed to do this, but from the start of January to January, when was this? 17, I read 10 books. Right now, the 25th, I've already read 16 books, which is kind of a great feat. I don't know how I managed to pull this off, but at the same time, I'm reading also like 5 books. I don't know what's wrong with me, but you know what? We're gonna move on from that. But from January 1st to January 17th, here are the 10 books that I read. Hello everyone, it's Veronica and welcome back to my channel. I haven't actually sat down to record in so long. I'm going to talk about all the 10 books that I read from the 1st to the 17th. I read 10 books in that time. I'm impressed with myself. I just don't know how I do it. I really don't. Honestly, last January, I think I read like 1 book. So honestly, 2021, off to a fabulous start. I'm impressed with myself. I did also set my goal to 100 books, so I'm already 9 books ahead of schedule, so if we keep that up, I don't know, can I reach 270 books in 2021 like I did 2020, which by the way, 2020, I don't know how I managed to read 278 books, I think, I don't remember, but how I did that, you know what, still a mystery to me, yeah. I just don't know how I did that. I really don't. We're gonna start off with the first book. The first book is Much Ado About You by Samantha Young, and thank you, NetGalley, for providing me an ARC. I love this book. It was fantastic. It brought me so much joy. I read it in one day, guys, because it was just that good. It was chef's kiss. It was just amazing, and I really enjoyed myself, and I loved it so much. I gave this 4 stars. Honestly though, I think I love it so much, like it's in my mind, and I had such a fun time reading it. It's about this woman who pretty much loses her job and then moves to a small town in England, I think, and she rents a bookstore, and it was great. It was like a friends to lovers kind of romance, and you know what? Boy, did I have a great time. It's so far on my favorite shelf. It's in my brain the whole time since I read it, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know why I gave it 4 stars the first time, but I'm giving it 5 stars, and I'm gonna update my review after I do this, but 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars. Honestly don't know why. I actually really enjoyed it myself. I don't think I had any complaints about it. I really love that like small town aspect to Much Ado About You, and honestly I think that their chemistry, which as you guys know, if you've been on my channel before and have watched so many of my videos, I never once remember any of the characters' names. So our hero and our heroine, their chemistry was just stellar. It was great, and I really enjoyed myself. I do have a review coming out in I don't actually know, but it'll be sometime soon, probably before this video comes out, so it will be down below for you guys to check out. But I love this book a lot. It was amazing. I loved it so much. We're gonna move on though, or else I'll go probably all day on this book. But the next book I read was I Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frick. This was also a NetGalley arc, so thank you, NetGalley. I have a lot of NetGalley books that I'm trying to finish, and we're just getting it, okay? I promise this 2021 will be the year I actually clear the shelf, clear NetGalley, and then so I can actually borrow more. The amount of books I have on that shelf, it's incredible. But I Killed Zoe Spanos, I gave 3 stars. It was okay, to be honest. I enjoy murder mysteries. I love them, okay? That's all I gotta say. But when it comes to murder mysteries, I'm very picky. It's just, you have to be good enough for me to really like it. And if you don't, you're getting a 3 or you're getting 2 or 1s, I don't know. But I Killed Zoe Spanos kind of just didn't hit that for me. Murder mystery, like I said, I'm picky. I have just a specific taste I want when it comes to these murder mysteries. I Killed Zoe Spanos did not hit that for me. It's kind of like a new adult-ish. She's going to college, I believe. She's looking for a job, and then just this, I mean, definitely though, I was not expecting this certain part of the book, but that's why I gave it 3 stars, because it wasn't that terrible, but then it just didn't spark my murder mystery joy in me, if that makes sense. It was just an acquired taste for murder mystery, and I Killed Zoe Spanos did not hit that for me. The next book that I read, by the way, is chronologically on how it looks like on Goodreads. There are like series in here that I read recently, but then the 10 that are not included in this 10, but we're gonna move on. Next book I read was The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. This is the first book of the Bridgertons, and I started this book because I wanted to read the series first before I actually watched the Netflix series, and so far, no regrets. I have been really enjoying it. The Duke and I gave 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed this. My review's on my Goodreads, so it will be linked down below for you guys to check out. I did enjoy this. I loved Daphne, and I loved Simon. They were really great, and I think it was very interesting because, you know, Daphne is very lively, and she's just, honestly, I really enjoyed her. You know, she's kind of like a strong, independent woman who needs no man, and then Simon comes in along, and I think it was just so funny. I love their banter. They were just so cute together, and I really enjoyed The Duke and I. I didn't read books 2 and 3 within this 10, but I loved The Duke and I think that if you guys have not watched the Netflix series, I think you guys should read the books first. I think, you know, I've heard great things about the Netflix series, so I'm not at all put off by that. I'm actually really excited to watch it. If you haven't watched it yet, I think you guys should read it first. I think it'll be a really good experience, and, you know, I think it'd be nice. The next book I read was Remember Me by OK. It's this name. I'm not gonna say it out loud because I know what's wrong the way I say it. I know I'm gonna say it wrong, and then I'm gonna be like, it's Remember Me, and this is the cover, and I also received this from NetGalley, so thank you, NetGalley. I gave this 3.5 stars. It was okay. To be honest, it was a friends to lovers romance. In all honesty, I think I've read better friends to lovers than this, so I gave it 3.5 stars. I just straight up forgot it. They both dance, I believe, so that's why, but it was okay. Honestly, I feel like none of the events were memorable enough for me to remember it, so honestly, I just forgot everything about it. But it felt like the romance was a little bit sloppy. This was, by the way, honestly could be categorized as young adult, but basically our heroine gets into a car crash, gets amnesia, and, you know, that's when they realize, at least the hero realizes, oh shoot, I actually really, really love you. But they both loved each other beforehand, but they just didn't act on it. They were both dating other people, and they were still feeling things for each other. I don't know. It was just not great at all, and you know what? It's fine. I mean, okay, I read it. I don't need to read again, so perfectly fine by me. The next book that I read is the total opposite. It is 3 Wishes by Kristen Ashley, and freaking, oh my goodness, I gave this 5 stars. 5 stars. I read this through Audible. I believe I bought it through one of my credits. I think it was also a 2-in-1 credit kind of deal, so I took that opportunity. 3 Wishes was just you know what, this was so emotional for me. I had such a terrific time listening to this. It made me angry in some parts, it made me cry in some parts. I felt my heart it was terrific. I was listening to it, and you know what? Both our main characters, our hero and heroine, they both go through literal trials and tribulations, and which is the words they used in the story. And it is like, it's a fantasy kind of as well, fantasy contemporary romance pretty much, and it was great. It was so heartfelt. I want to reread it, re-listen to it. I don't know. just because I want to feel more things from it, even though, like, it made me so emotional while I was reading that it, like, sometimes I'm just, but it was great. Okay, my camera cut off, and I don't know where it cut off, so, that's probably a good thing, so that I, you know, don't talk about this book too much, but I'm pretty sure I left off at 3 Wishes. We're gonna move on from that. It's probably better, because I think I talked about it for like 5 minutes. Who knows? The next book that I read after 3 Wishes is The Sword of Kaigon by M.L. Wong. I actually purchased this because I couldn't find it in my library. I couldn't find it on Scribd, nowhere. I have 0 regrets purchasing this as an ebook. 5 stars, guys. This book was fantastic. It's got this Japanese mythology, which, by the way, is Asian representation, which is the book I read for January 2021 for my book club book, Asians Under a Typhoon. So if you guys want to go check it out, the live show will be linked down below for you guys to check out. While we're at it, we also launched our Asians Under a Typhoon Discord. So if you guys want to join us, I really do suggest you do so, because we are having our February discussions on there. Our book for February is Pachinko by Minjin Lee, and so far I'm scared to continue on. I am, no joke, I'm at 13% because I'm straight up afraid to continue on. Back to The Sword of Kaigon. I loved it so much. There were some things that I was like, my emotions were high. They were high. Also, I finished this at 1 a.m., so that's probably why it was so high. I was so impressed by the writing, and the history, by the way, was absolutely fantastic. M.L. Wong did a fantastic job with the history behind the location, and our main character, the Matsuda family, by the way, is very well in depth. It goes back generations and generations, and the stories behind it that just... it's so great. It's just great. It's got such great history. You know, by the way, she wrote these history by herself. Incredible. It was just, my favorite part was by far the history and the fighting. I think the fighting was also great. It's got very traditional Japanese style, because I think this is very Japanese mythology-ish. The, like, clothing sounded very Japanese. Everything about it sounded very Japanese. It was great, and I gave 5 stars, and I loved it a lot. The next book that I read was The Earl Not Taken by A.S. Fenichel. I'm sorry, I know I'm saying that wrong. But I gave this book 5 stars. We're on a rule with 5 stars. December, I just straight up gave only like 3 books 5 stars. Now, look, January, it's filled with 5s. The Earl Not Taken is the first book in the Wallflower of West Lane series, and I actually got the ARC for book 2 and 3, which was great. I loved both of them. All 3 of them, actually. But, well, The Earl Not Taken, I gave 5 stars. Our main character's Poppy, I was right, and Rise. It's like Rhys-Anne from A Court of Thorns and Roses, but right? Just without the sand, the and part. So it's Reese, probably. I don't know. Reese, basically, their relationship was just great. It's like a enemies to lovers / best friend's brother's romance kind of thing. And I love, by the way, enemies to lovers. It's one of my favorite tropes by far. I just love the way the tension. It was great. I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 5 stars because their banter was adorable. Their chemistry not only was also just as adorable, and I don't know about you, but I love chemistry, and I love strong enemies to lovers romances. And A.S. Fenichel managed to write just a great enemies to lovers, and I really enjoyed it. We're going to move on to book 2, Misleading a Duke, which, thank you, Nick Alley, for providing me an ARC. So I gave this book 4 stars, and this was also sort of like an enemies to lovers, but not really enemies, more hate to love. And I gave this 4 stars. It was great. I've not really had any complaints. It was about Faith, and I think this guy is Nick. This guy, I believe, is Nick. His name is Nick. And their romance was adorable. They're it's like a close proximity kind of thing, except with some dangerous situations in it. And I love dangerous situations. You know, it just makes them more interesting. Yes, his name is Nick. I was right. It's just so spice things up with some dangerous situations, why don't you? Loved it. It was just amazing. And so far, I've been really enjoying A.S. Fenichel's books. And the Wallflowers, by the way, there's 4 of them. They're all very, like, I'm never gonna marry a man because, honestly, men kind of suck. So, but then they're met with just the best men in the world. And they're like, okay, got it. Just there are some men that are actually pretty good. It was great. It was great. Since we're on a roll, I might as well talk about book 3, which I read a few days ago, maybe 2 days ago. And it is Capturing the Earl, which is also a NetGalley arc, so thank you, NetGalley. I gave this 5 stars because this is like, it made me emotional. No joke. Emotions were flying everywhere. I nearly wanted to cry. I felt so heartbroken for our main character, Mercy, and our other guy, Wesley. Their relationship was so... it was just refreshing and adorable, and I loved them because it was kind of like, also like a hate to love, but not like hate. It was more like, you're kind of interested in marrying my best friend, so I'm gonna stay away, but then we have so much chemistry that, like, but then it's not, there's no cheating or anything, there's nothing like that. It was just really sweet, and I loved them. I think Mercy was just, her full name is Mercedes, but she goes by Mercy. She was just so gentle. She loves music, by the way, which is amazing. I love music. I loved how Wesley was really caring towards Mercy, and honestly everybody else, even including Aurora, who is mentioned in the synopsis, by the way, so not really spoiling anything. He intended to marry Aurora, but instead he started becoming interested in Mercy, and he was really caring towards all 4 of the Wallflowers, and he was just so nice. And all the men in this series are just simply fabulous. They're amazing, and honestly, A.S. Fenichel just wrote really great books, and I really hope that book 4, I hope there's a book 4, by the way, for Aurora. It sounds weird in my voice, but I really truly hope that she finds someone, because it's just, I really need her to be happy. I want her to be happy. I don't just want all 3 Wallflowers to be happy and Aurora not being happy. I need her to be happy too. So I truly hope she finds someone just as good as the other 3. This one's gonna be really short, but I read the Research, Design, Qualitative, Quantitative, and Mixed Methods Approach by John Creswell. That's it. That's for school. It's for my research study, so I just want to include that. The next book was Royally by Lee Savino. The cover is here, so I don't want to, like, say it, but this was like a royalty, hate to love, but not really hate to love. I don't know. The steam level in this was high. It was great. I really enjoyed this. I didn't really expect to give it 4 stars. It was very, like, there was just so much tension. It's like, you're kind of like an F-boy, so our heroine she has to pretty much go in and fix him. That's it. She goes in, fixes him, and then they fall in love, and I had a fabulous time reading it because it was just great. I love these kind of books. They're so fun to read, and so it was really short. That's why I read it in one day. It was very sweet, and I really enjoyed it. So the next book was Into the Burning Dawn by Natalie Meg Evans, and this one I gave 3 stars. So also thank you, NetGalley, for providing me this arc, and I enjoyed it. It was about World War II in Italy, and our main character is English. There's tension, she's living there, and it's also like a romance. Honestly, I don't remember it. To be honest, I love historical fiction, by the way, and so the aspects of just a little bit of romance in it would have been great to me. It just wasn't honestly that great. I wanted to enjoy it, but I didn't find myself gravitating toward reading it very, I felt kind of a little bit of force reading it, and I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want that any longer, so that's why I gave it 3 stars. Love historical fiction. Love that it had a little bit of romance, but it didn't really hit my historical fiction spark. So that's why I gave it 3 stars. I did think it was pretty good, and it's very interesting to read about the different aspects of war, especially during World War II, and how each country goes around. I've never actually read a book about like World War II in Italy, so this was a very interesting experience. And that is it for this kind of section. Obviously, I did say that it would be from January 1st to 17, and then I went ahead and added just literally book 3 of the Wallflowers of West Lane, and so it's all over the place, but basically this was 10-11 books. I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming and watching this. I will have the next part of this wrap up soon, hopefully. Who knows? I do need to edit a lot. I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming. I really did enjoy making this video. High energy today. I have somehow a lot of energy, and I don't know why, but thank you guys so much for coming to watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this, please give this a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button. I post every week. I also live stream at least reading sprints every week. Please do subscribe if you guys would love to see that. Love to join in. I would love for you guys to show up. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!